A 100-year-old old man is counting the last breaths of his life, and a white-bearded man is waiting for him to die. The darkness of the night is lit only by a candle, and as soon as he dies, the white-bearded man immediately cuts his body open from the middle, takes out the inner parts, and starts making 30 pages of notes in reverse letters. This man was Leonardo da Vinci, history's most cursed genius, before whom even the greatest scientists like Newton, Einstein, or Tesla seem like mere clapping spectators. Because Leonardo didn't just work in one or two fields, he made discoveries in worlds so different that even today's scientists are trying to understand their secrets. Inside them was the code of God's design, the location of the soul in the body, the formula of beauty, the secrets of flying, weapons capable of destroying civilizations, detailed drawings of every organ, blood vessel, and nerve of the dead, and even the prediction of his own death date. And he locked all this knowledge in his personal notebook and hid it from the entire world. 13,000 pages written in reverse hand, 500 years old. This wasn't just a notebook, it was the mind of a cursed genius poured onto paper. This is what we will decode in this video. Year 1580 to 60 years had passed since Leonardo's death. An Italian artist, Pompeo Leone, while looking for some inspiration, bought some papers very cheaply. And the moment he opened those papers, his breath stopped and his eyes froze open. Every page was filled with reverse letters written from right to left, readable only in a mirror. Detailed images of internal organs, as if someone had cut the human body layer by layer. Dangerous weapon designs capable of destroying empires. Technologies 400 years ahead of time, helicopters, gliders, mechanical robots, machine guns that were beyond imagination in that era. Strange prophecies, mathematical formulas written in some unknown language. And the most chilling thing, dried bloody fingerprints on some pages, as if someone started writing after touching decaying flesh. Leone immediately organized these 2,500 pages into two big volumes, Codex Atlanticus, 1,011 pages of scientific and technical work. Codex Arundel, all anatomical, artistic, and philosophical work. But he mixed the dates and topics, destroying Leonardo's original order forever. After Leone's death, his family sold different parts of these volumes separately. From there, Da Vinci's work was scattered, Italy to Spain, then England, then France. 300 years later, the 1800s arrived, and Renaissance scholars finally started diving into the mysterious depths of these books, noticing some strange patterns. First pattern, the anatomical drawings contained notes that went against the Church and the Bible. Newborn child development inside the womb, pictures of the heart beating, blood circulation, many such drawings. Second pattern, weapon designs were intentionally drawn wrong. Tank gears reversed. Crossbow firing mechanisms incorrect, as if he wanted to hide some secret message. Third pattern, many drawings, scripts, and masterpieces were left incomplete. Not one, not two, hundreds. And on top of that, dried blood stains on the pages. Did he die earlier than expected? So scholars formed a theory. Leonardo da Vinci was a mystical genius who intentionally encrypted his rare knowledge in reverse letters. Why? Because the Church would kill him. See, in 16th century Italy, the Church had absolute power. If you said or wrote anything that contradicted the Bible, trials, torture, and death. In 1600, Giordano Bruno was burned alive just for saying the sun, not the earth, is the center of the solar system. In 1633, Galileo was jailed and silenced. And Leonardo, by 1513, he was already labeled anti-religion. He knew that if his discoveries of the human body, the evidence of the Earth orbiting the Sun, and the real sketches of the embryo were published, the Church would burn him too. Therefore, he wrote in code. By 1900, this theory became so popular that many world-famous books were written on it, Decoding Da Vinci, Leonardo's Secret Code, The Hidden Messages, etc. But all these books revealed only half the truth. The full truth was even more interesting. Leonardo was a hidden genius who didn't appear once in 100 years, but once in 10,000 years. Yet at the end of his life, Leonardo declared his life a failure. So what were the secrets in Leonardo's notebooks? What was the truth behind these strange patterns? In 1938, a book was published that finally revealed all of Leonardo's hidden secrets. It was written by a man who dedicated his entire life to digging out the buried truths of art history, Ludwig Heidenreich, a German art historian. And the world discovered the real face of Leonardo da Vinci for the first time. April 15, 1452, Vinci Village, Italy. An illegitimate child was born to an upper-middle-class father, Ser Piero, and a village laborer mother, Caterina. The child was illegitimate, so he received only the name Leonardo, and the surname was donated by the village, da Vinci. At that time, illegitimate children were called Devil's Child and rejected. And Leonardo had another black mark, being left-handed, something the church saw as a sign of the devil. He had no right to attend school, no identity in society, no claim to home, land, or inheritance. Even his father abandoned him. His mother married someone else. Leonardo's childhood became a punishment for a sin he never committed. And such childhoods create not kids, but perspectives. If the world does not see me, then I will see myself, and I will understand the world through my own eyes. The child who never learned to write letters learned to see. Observation became his language. Patterns became his letters. He drew strange notes, fibers, textures, microstructures of grass. People laughed at him, but his eyes saw not the surface of the world, but inside it. Patterns, details. He searched for hidden codes in nature's textures and learned the language of nature. This wasn't art, this was the birth of pattern recognition obsession. He analyzed each brushstroke for decades. His obsession was clarity. One day, a 12-year-old Leonardo stared at a tree and suddenly an explosion happened in his mind. He saw that the size of a tree's trunk equals the combined size of all its branches, and a branch's size equals the combined size of its twigs. This observation is today called Leonardo's rule, a pure mathematical principle of conservation of network flow. The same principle applies to arteries distributing blood, cities distributing traffic, and even the internet distributing data. At 13, when Leonardo looked at the mountains, he didn't see piles of earth. He saw contrast decreasing with distance, colors shifting to blue and gray, edges becoming blurred. He was understanding optical scattering, a principle that later became atmospheric perspective. People saw beauty. Leonardo saw force distribution, tendon extension, rotational symmetry. He saw physics and biology where the world saw beauty. And all this happened before Galileo and Newton existed. But Leonardo's life was about to turn. At 14, he was taken as an apprentice by Florence's greatest artist, Andrea del Verrocchio. But this was no art school. Verrocchio made Leonardo mop floors, wash clothes, cook food, and only then allowed him to mix colors, grind minerals, and touch a paintbrush. Verrocchio soon noticed something strange. Leonardo picked up a task, left it halfway, jumped to another, half sketches, half models, half paintings. Leonardo had a problem, one that we all have, something he struggled with all his life and ultimately died calling himself a failure. Take this painting for example, the Baptism of Christ. On the left side is an angel holding a rope. Leonardo painted just this angel. And its depth, dimension, and emotion were so powerful that the master Verrocchio said, "Shame on me, a child has painted better than me. I will never touch colors again." Leonardo used science inside art to fill a flat canvas with depth and emotion. This proved that not hard work alone, but a scientific perspective made Leonardo great. 1476, one night changed Leonardo's life forever. A paper was secretly dropped into a special box near Florence Cathedral. It said, Leonardo da Vinci had homosexual intercourse with a 17-year-old boy. This was no small accusation. Punishment included torture, years of imprisonment, or even being burned alive. But because a boy from a powerful family was also involved, Leonardo barely escaped destruction. But his world collapsed. People looked at him with disgust and suspicion. This was an age when homosexuality was considered the lowest crime. The pain shattered Leonardo's identity. But nothing is more dangerous than a man rebuilding his broken self. This incident ignited the madness and hunger for power inside Leonardo. For 4 years, he locked himself inside his home and created his new companion, his notebooks. His world was no longer people, but his thoughts, his questions, his sketches. He locked his existence inside those pages. And page by page, a new world developed, a world 400 years ahead of time. Now you will discover the real-time evolution of a cursed genius's mind through his notebook journey. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. The greatest deception man suffers is from their own opinions. I isolate myself so the failure of the world cannot reach me. Who am I? Where does the soul live? Where do pain, shame, fear exist? Tell me if anything can be more admirable than the reasoning of the soul. Truth was no longer a hobby, it was his very existence. Curiosity had become his identity. In 1489, after years of studying, Leonardo began illegally smuggling corpses, cutting them open, removing skulls, and drawing detailed diagrams. These images look like MRI slices made 500 years before MRI was invented. He literally scooped out the brain and drew the 4 ventricles where philosophers of that time believed the soul and imagination lived. Though today we know that's not true, ventricles only create cerebrospinal fluid, his drawings are extremely accurate. Tell me if anything can be more admirable than the mind of a man. Beauty too had a formula. The head is ruled by geometry. Attractive faces divide into 3 equal parts. Eyes are symmetrical. The body is a system of ratios, a living equation. Why do things appear visible at all? Look at this comparison, Leonardo's soft, light-based shading versus Botticelli's strong outlines. Leonardo understood the true nature of light. Light never makes rough edges, it creates smooth gradients. This understanding became the basis of the inverse square law. And from it, Leonardo invented a new technique, sfumato. Year 1480, Leonardo felt suffocated in Florence. His painting Ginevra de' Benci emerged, no smile, no showing off, just deep thinking. The first time deep introspection appeared in Western art. But suddenly weapons of mass destruction began appearing in his notebooks. Why? Historians saw 2 Leonardos, one, a peaceful vegetarian who freed birds from cages. The other, who designed machines to destroy humanity. Was he a hero, or a villain? How did Leonardo resolve this conflict? How did he master 20 different worlds and become the greatest genius, scientist, artist, inventor, all at once? His notebooks could have taken humanity 200 years ahead. So why did he hide them? Why did he call his life a failure before dying? Everything soon, in the next episode. So psychos, stay tuned for the next calling, E Separavidir, learn to know how to see.